From District 5, our fifth female contestant this evening is McKenna Lewis from Anderson County.
When I think of corn on the cob, popped corn, and the corny jokes that my dad always tells. But the one thing that doesn't typically tend to come to my mind is bourbon. In the 1700s, settlers discovered that by converting corn and other grains into whiskey, they had an easily transportable source of income. And for generations, Kentuckians have continued the heritage of bourbon making. The bourbon industry has created over 9,000 jobs and generates $125 million in tax revenue, not to mention the fact that bourbon tourism is booming too. None of this would be possible without the production of corn. Did you know that each year Kentucky distilleries use approximately 15 million bushels of corn? 95% of the world's bourbon is made right here in Kentucky. And to be considered bourbon, it must consist of a minimum of 51% corn, although most distilleries use between 65 and 75%. The more corn, the sweeter the bourbon. To even be called bourbon, it must be made in the United States. And the reason that Kentucky is home to such a high percentage of the world's bourbon is due to our perfect combination of climate conditions and pure limestone water. And of course, we can't forget about the corn. Corn is even used when it's done being used. Mash, or distiller's grain, more commonly known as slop, is the leftover corn and other grains used in the distilling process. Once the process is over, the slop is shipped to farms everywhere to be used as cattle feed. Even though there are more barrels of bourbon in Kentucky than there are people, the bourbon industry would be nowhere near where it is today without the production of corn. Thank you.